Hi, and welcome back to the sixth component, where the sixth component is you. I'm Kaitlin.
And I'm Laura. It is so great to have you today. We are going to talk about the top 10 tips for a food show.
It's a tongue twister,
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah. Top 10 tips.
We love food shows.
We do love food shows.
And we love tongue twisters.
We love tongue twisters.
Kaitlin.
So, let's jump right in. Yeah.
Go.
Number one, don't go hungry. That's from experience. Okay, so you eat all the food and then you leave feeling terrible. And you also pick things that really aren't that great, but they tasted great in the moment because you were so hungry. Anything tastes good.
Mm-hmm. Pizza, and
more pizza. Yeah.
Yep, that's so good because especially at school nutrition shows or food service shows that are specifically targeted to schools, there's going to be a lot of pizza, there's going to be French fries, there's going to be cheese, there's just a lot of heavy foods.
Yeah.
So I always go with either a protein shake in my belly beforehand or vegetables or fruit, right? Like just really healthier choices so that when I know that I get there, it's going to be bad. So you might as well even it out a little bit. So yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
Tip number one. Tip number two, Kaitlin.
You tell us.
Ooh. Phone charge. So we use our phone, or I use my phone a lot. I know you do this as well.
Yep.
Pictures of the food. So things that you like, that you want to remember, and whether it's got the manufacturer name, the QR code next to it, you can scan that QR code. But your phone has to be charged for you to be taking those photos.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, I always take pictures of the product next to the order number. Specifically, if we go to a food show that is our vendor, our prime vendor, I will take those together and then I can go back through my phone and look. I think it's easier to look through pictures than the 900 pieces of paper that you leave the show with.
Yeah, probably good point. Yeah, that's so good. So bring a nice charged cell phone. Number three, Kaitlin.
Bring your business cards. I can't tell you the number of times I've forgotten my business cards and then I don't hear from the vendor because I wrote my email address down and they couldn't read my handwriting or, whatever it ended up being. They lost their piece of paper and then I don't get information on the product that I was hoping to get information on. So bring your business cards.
Yeah. If you have them and that's something standard for your district, that's really great. Number four, bring your own bag or BYOB. And I'm a firm believer of a nice canvasy kind of bag. Now, some food shows have bags that they will provide. Some don't. So being prepared, having an availability to put that in there so that you can really focus your attention on talking and not feeling like you are at the grocery store and you should have grabbed a cart, but you didn't grab the cart.
Yep, absolutely.
So bring BYOB, my friends.
And also BYOF, bring your own friend.
Ooh.
Yeah, bring somebody that knows what you do. It's great to bring, sometimes I've brought family members in the past and they think it's fantastic, but they don't understand, exactly what we do in our jobs. So their opinion on the price or on the, the nutritional quality might not be exactly where you want it to be. So bring somebody that does, your job in a different district or bring one of your head cooks from your kitchen.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I think too, like when you're asking the representative or broker for manufacturer number or maybe the nutritionals or is it CN labeled, that other individual will know what the heck you're talking about and why you're asking these questions over and over and over and over. That's so good. All right, so BYOB, BYOF, and then number six, I'm going to take this one. This one's a little rough. So for all of you dietitians out there that have been a clinical dietitian, you know what ETOH means? Well, it's alcohol. So our notes say ETOH and we started to giggle, but we all know that in some food shows, it's not only just about school nutrition items, but it's also restaurants and bars. And so there's going to be beer, there's going to be tappers, there's going to be, hard alcohol with certain drinks. They're going to mix it up. They'll have bartenders actually at some of them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that whoever you go with, number one, is aware of that it's not appropriate to drink on the job. Even if it's at a food show and even if it's free, it does not make it okay.
Right. Because most of the time the food shows are either in the morning or the early afternoon. So you're probably going back to work after this. Also, you are representing your school district while you're there.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're just being professional. You do whatever you want to do outside of work. If that's what you want to do, great, good for you. But not at the food show when you're trying to be a professional.
Absolutely. And we just recently in the school district that I work for had an experience with an intern who that I didn't even think it would be an issue. I didn't think in advance to have the conversation of alcohol is really only an appropriate thing when you're on PTO. And so that intern came to me during the food show, Kaitlin, and had a glass of something that was brown. And I looked at her, and I happened to be a lady, and I said, do you plan on leaving right now and maybe taking PTO or time off from your internship? Or do you want to throw that away immediately? And that was were my exact words. And I said it is not appropriate to have alcohol at a food show in the middle of a workday. So I would strongly recommend that if you bring someone, especially an intern or someone where this is their very first food show, lay out that simple expectation because they truly don't know.
Yep.
And they may not have had an experience in a professional setting, especially as a new person,
Right.
of alcohol in general. I do know that like the private industry, so my spouse's industry, they do alcohol on a Friday afternoon, where they'll go to a bar that has golfing, or they'll they'll do those things on work time, and that's totally different.
Yep.
We are taxpayer stewards, and so therefore there is no alcohol on a taxpayer dime. Stay away from it. High and dry. That's number 6. Number 7.
Number 7, take notes immediately after the show is done. A lot of times you see a ton of products. You get, like I said before, you get a lot of pieces of paper and a lot of information on things, and you want to remember what you want to go back and order or look into more. So we need to make sure that we are taking notes on it and we are remembering what we want to remember. And if you're anything like me, as soon as you leave, you forget everything you saw. So
pretty much.
Notes are my best friend.
And you don't want an entire office full of the flyers of food products, right? So I think that's really important. Just clean, clear, organized, get it in, get it out. And then even so far as emailing your representative for maybe your manufacturer that you work with right away saying, I just left the food show. These are some of the products and manufacturer numbers. What's the availability of these items? And get that out, and then you can start the process of hopefully getting maybe those new products into your menus.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 8, Laura.
Number 8. Only if you're interested, take the flyer or scan the QR code. So make it simple. You don't have to feel like you need to tell every broker, like, yes, I'm going to be menuing that. Only if you're interested. It's okay to say thanks, but no thanks. Do you mind if I try it? Thanks for being here today. And just continue to move.
Yeah, and I think also along that same note, make sure you're checking the price point and the availability. So a lot of times food brokers will show you items that will not be available for the next couple of months or the next school year. I've been burned before on menuing things that were not going to be available in time, and then I was scrambling to try to find something to replace it. So definitely ask those questions along with your interest level.
Yeah. So if you're not interested, or you ask that question of it's too expensive, thanks but no thanks, right? Love you and leave you.
Which brings us really to number 9, which is being kind and quick.
Yes.
A lot of times these people are trying to sell to you, and they want to chit chat with you about your personal life and their personal life, and they're trying to make a connection, and that's wonderful, but we have so many people to see. We want to get out of there in a timely fashion.
Right. And to respect them and their customers that are coming right down behind you. And so keep moving. And then last but not least, kind of sums up and goes full circle with the very first comment, which is don't come hungry. The last comment, or tip number 10, is to take small, polite bites.
Yes, polite bites. Absolutely.
Bites.
Yeah, when I went to my first probably like 3 or 4 food shows as a new food service director, I don't know why it didn't occur to me that you could just take a bite and throw it away. I felt like it was rude. So I ate the whole, piece of pizza and the whole chicken tender and the half of a chicken patty. And by the time I got to the third booth, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to make it through the whole?
I'm not going to make it. Yes.
So polite bites are very important.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it is fun to be at a more restaurant bar style show, but just be aware that there's going to be a lot more fried items. And so I've also taken like off of shrimp. I've taken the fried food, fried item off the shrimp. Obviously I'll take the product in my napkin and I'll walk away from the vendor and say thank you, and just be a little bit smarter about that and get some shrimp, because we in school nutrition don't always get to try shrimp or put it on the menu, but we as adults, it's really a fun way to try something new also. So, just because you can't menu it doesn't mean that you can't necessarily try it, but just be smart about the amount of food that you're putting in your body, because obviously you want to make sure that you still feel comfortable when you leave that food show. Yeah. So polite bites, just like our kids.
And I think it's important too, you brought up a good point about not all of the food shows being school nutrition related. I think it's a really important thing for us to go to the other shows too, because we get to see new menu concepts. So maybe we can't buy specifically whatever item they're showing, but it will give us ideas on how to get our kids into our cafeteria.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the food at food shows. They also have a lot of like facilities equipment that sometimes you can find neat things on. Napkins, napkin holders, cups, just more of those dinnerwares that and equipment pieces that you may need to take a peek at as well. So it's not all about the food. There are other areas of the food show that you might enjoy and appreciate, and need to also pick up some items for your kitchens as well. So
challenge this week is to pick one. Well, please don't pick the alcohol one, because I feel like that's a no-brainer. But
that is a no-brainer,
we thought not necessarily the case. Pick one of the top 10 tips and make sure that's something you're following at the next food show you go to. And on top of that, pick a food show to go to that might not be school nutrition related, so you can see what some of the trends are out there.
Great challenges, Kaitlin. So we hope that this helps you to be more successful in the work that you do, so that you can continue to be cool, you can continue to be trendy, and you can continue to love on the kids that make up your customer base, because they deserve new and fun things. And sometimes they come from food shows. So
absolutely.
Thanks for being with us today, Kaitlin.
Thank you too. Thank you to all of you, and we will definitely see you next week.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Cheers.